comments on my most fabulous poster. Then she has the audacity to print out the worst picture of me she could find. I always knew she was a dirty witch.
After years of silence, tension, and build-up, Mariah finally faced off with Quad, and let's just say, things got real. If you've been watching Married to Medicine from the beginning, you already know this moment wasn't just for the cameras. It was raw, personal, and filled with years of unresolved emotions. Fans have waited for this moment for a long time, and when it finally happened, it did not disappoint. So, how did we get here? Why was this confrontation such a big deal? To really understand the heat behind it all, we've got to go back to the early days before the fame, before the fights, back when Mariah and Quad were actually close.
Everything against me.
Tell her
That you lie.
I
don't, but this is what I'm not gonna
receipts
take
on my
on.
husband.
I
You got
don't.
receipts on my husband.
I do.
That's a lie.
It's not
It's
a lie. It's not a lie.
Just because your husband cheated, don't mean mine did. You ain't got no fucking receipts on my husband. You're a liar.
When Married to Medicine was just an idea, Mariah was the one who brought it to life. She created the show, handpicked the cast, and carefully chose the women she believed could bring something special to the table. One of those women was Quad. Back then, Mariah and Quad had a bond that looked unbreakable. They weren't just friends, they were like sisters. Fans loved seeing them together on screen, laughing, sharing, and supporting one another. Their connection was part of what made the early seasons so entertaining. But like many reality TV friendships, things started to shift, and not in a good way. The change didn't happen all at once. Slowly, little things began to cause tension between them. What used to be playful disagreements turned into deeper issues. As the show continued and Quad's popularity began to rise, so did the distance between her and Mariah. Quad quickly became one of the breakout stars.
To me. Understand it. I won't, and I don't. You know what you can do with your apology? You can kiss it. And anybody else that go along with you on your fake, phony-ass spiritual journey can kiss it too.
Her bold personality, clever one-liners, and confidence made her stand out. And while fans appreciated her presence, some couldn't help but notice what looked like a quiet struggle for control behind the scenes. Suddenly, the dynamic between the two women began to feel more competitive than collaborative. This wasn't just two friends drifting apart, it became clear that there was a battle for the spotlight. Some viewers even believed Quad was working in the background to shift the balance of power in her favor, especially when whispers began that she was trying to push Mariah out altogether. Things reached a boiling point when rumors spread that Quad had played a role in Mariah being removed from the show. Quad always denied these claims, but the timing and the behind-the-scenes chatter painted a different picture. Fans began to take sides. Some believed Quad was just doing what she needed to survive in the reality TV world, while others were convinced she betrayed someone who had given her a chance. For Mariah, it wasn't just business. This was about loyalty. She had trusted Quad, believed in her, and gave her a seat at the table. So when she was pushed out, it felt personal. It felt like betrayal. When Mariah finally had the chance to confront Quad, it wasn't just about old wounds. It was about clearing the air and making sure her side of the story was heard. And let's be clear, Mariah came ready. She didn't show up emotional or chaotic. She showed up prepared, with facts, receipts, and confidence. She spoke her truth, and she wasn't afraid of how it might be received. What made this moment so powerful was that it wasn't just about settling a score, it was about reclaiming her narrative. Mariah wanted people to remember who she was, what she built, and how the show came to be. She reminded everyone that Married to Medicine wouldn't even exist if it weren't for her vision.
Pissed off, and I was like, you know what? Like, why would you want to be there, you know? And then looking at it, like, you've been shading me since the first episode. Like, I didn't know, like, you know, it's just a lot of things were going on behind my back that I did not know about, and I was just kind of hurt and shocked by it. And I just wanted to let her know, like, I'm not a pushover, and you ain't gonna get away with it.
And most importantly, she made it clear that no one, not even Quad, could erase her legacy. Just when the dust started to settle, a new wave of drama hit. This time, it involved Sweet Tea, the newest member of the cast. Quad made a shady comment implying that Sweet Tea only had a spot on the show because of her. Whether she meant it as a joke or not, it landed poorly. The remark sparked immediate backlash. Fans and castmates alike saw it as another example of Quad trying to control the narrative and assert her dominance. And just like before, Mariah wasn't having it. Mariah stepped in not just to defend Sweet Tea, but to call out the pattern. She reminded Quad and everyone watching that she was the one who brought Quad on board in the first place. So the idea that Quad could now act like the gatekeeper? Absolutely wild in her eyes. And honestly, for many longtime viewers, this felt like a full circle moment. For years, Quad had positioned herself as the face of the show. But Mariah's reminder shook that illusion. She wanted everyone to remember the roots of Married to Medicine, and she wasn't about to let anyone rewrite history. One of the best parts of this whole situation? Sweet Tea didn't sit back and stay silent. She addressed Quad's comment head-on, making it very clear that she didn't need anyone's blessing to be part of the cast. She came with her own story, her own personality, and her own purpose. She wasn't a background character in someone else's drama, she was here to make her mark. Sweet Tea explained that her connection to the show came through her husband, not through Quad. And while she's new, she's not about to play small. Whether people love her or not, she's earned her place and she made sure Quad knew it. This latest drama raised a big question among fans. Was Quad setting up Sweet Tea to be her next target? Viewers started to notice a pattern. Quad has had friction with several women on the show over the years, and many believe she has a habit of clashing with anyone who begins to get too much attention. Some even say she sees other women's rising popularity as a threat, and that's when the tension begins. Mariah's call-out wasn't just about her own experience, it was about the way reality TV often works. Cast members who gain influence can sometimes use it to control how others are perceived. And when they do, people like Mariah, those who helped build the platform, get pushed aside or painted as villains. As soon as the episode aired, social media exploded. People had opinions, and they weren't shy about sharing them. Many fans were solidly in Mariah's corner. They felt like she was finally saying what needed to be said. One user tweeted, "Mariah was the blueprint. Without her, there wouldn't be a show. Period." Others chimed in, praising her for standing up for herself. She didn't come for Quad, Quad's been coming for her for years. It's about time she clapped back, one post read. But not everyone saw things the same way. Some believed Mariah's return was all about bitterness. They felt like she was trying to insert herself into drama that didn't involve her anymore. This wasn't even about Mariah, it was about Sweet Tea and Quad. She made it about her, one viewer argued. Still, no matter which side you're on, one thing was clear: this moment was TV gold. So where do things go from here? That's the million-dollar question. Because if there's one thing we all know about Quad, it's that she's not going to let this go. She doesn't take public call-outs lightly. Whether she responds directly or plots something behind the scenes, you can be sure we haven't heard the last of this. And then there's Sweet Tea. She might be new to all this, but she's already caught in the crossfire. How she navigates this mess could shape her entire journey on the show. Will she stay neutral? Team up with someone? Or find herself dragged into even more drama? And of course, Mariah. Now that she's spoken her truth, does she walk away feeling satisfied? Or does this ignite a new chapter in her storyline? Because let's be real, when someone like Mariah reclaims her place, the impact isn't small. At the heart of it all, this drama isn't just about two women not getting along. It's about history, loyalty, recognition, and respect. It's about who gets credit, who controls the story, and who gets to stay in the spotlight. Mariah's confrontation was powerful because it reminded people where the show started. It forced everyone to think about how quickly people can forget the ones who helped build something great. And it gave a voice back to someone who many felt had been silenced for too long. Whether you're Team Mariah, Team Quad, or just here for the entertainment, one thing's for sure: Married to Medicine just got a whole lot messier, and we're all watching closely to see what happens next.